Want to just introduce the team from PB&J. They're going to be doing a overview of Q1 feature releases, additional updates, items, things like that. A few housekeeping items. If you just joined us, this is being recorded and it'll be available on Camp Connect. Also, we also ask that if you have questions, please type them in the chat, and we'll spend some time towards the end of the presentation relaying those to the PB&J team, and we'll get those answered as well. So we're really excited about this. I think we've had a long relationship with PB&J, and I think these additional features are going to continue to strengthen that. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bobby Franzo and his team, and they're going to tell you about all the awesome updates. So take it away, Bobby.
Thanks so much for the intro, Jared, and thank everybody for joining us today. What I wanted to first do is introduce a few of my team members. You guys have probably chatted with them on a couple different occasions here or there for support needs or any kind of camp needs, but I have joining us today Maria Johnson, who's our Customer Success Director, Paul Dema, who is our Program Support Director, and then actually bonus, Rick Franzo, our CTO, has joined us as well today to give us a little bit from a development resources. He works with our dev team on a daily basis, so his added input would be great on this call. But we've got a full scope of team here, and the goal of this webinar really is to highlight some of the work we've been doing this Q1, kind of a broad stroke overview of a few key releases, and then highlight the new status page release that just occurred. So without further ado, let's kind of jump right into it. I think Paul's going to kick us off, go right into status page monitoring and what that's going to be doing for camp. And then Maria is going to kind of give us a quick overview too right now.
So the two key aspects for this release are for better service transparency and industry-leading upgrades. We set some amazing new enhancements that will allow both our team and your team to better address and even forecast potential issues that may arise at the camp. And we'll certainly dive into all these enhancements, but they include system status monitoring, status alerts, reactive camera maintenance notices for your pet parents, and even in-app server health monitoring in an upcoming app update for admin users. And of course, Camp Bow Wow boasts the most comprehensive AV and online streaming program in the industry, and we want to continue to drive this and make upgrades at camp both efficient and accessible through our upgrades program.
All right, so everyone should have received their emails with their new camp status pages included, along with a couple of instructions to basically email us some email addresses that you would like to use for your upcoming alerts. If you have not received your email, please check your spam folder or let our team know by reaching out to the campercamp support at cbwcorp.com email address, so we can kind of get that back to you as quickly as we can. So the first big thing on these new status pages, it's an at-a-glance view for you to just check in on all things camp. So the first thing on these status pages are quote unquote our big three. It's going to have your admin viewing on there, so you'll always be able to know if your streaming is up for your just remote access, whether it be through your admin app or just remote website viewing. Your next item down is actually going to be your parent streaming. So it's actually two separated items there. So you'll be able to tell at any point whether streaming's down, whether on the website or through the app. And then our last one is actually pup dates. So you'll always be able to kind of check in, and for some reason you're experiencing an issue with pup dates, you can always log in and check your status page to see if it's a system-wide issue or if it's something locally there, just on site. Right underneath that, you'll actually be able to dive into this, and we'll do this in a second, but you'll be able to check back any historical data. You can check and see if anything's been down or anything like that, and you can kind of see a history on each individual monitor there. So we're actually going to go into what would cause a downtime for any of these monitors. So the first would just be network latency latency, so just slow network on site where it's just our monitors having a little bit of trouble connecting to each of these. Obviously, a power outage would prevent us from either a power outage or an internet outage would prevent us from actually keeping connection to either of these. Whether you're restarting your computer due to just a regular system scheduled update or anything along those lines, or just simple equipment failure. Say the computer's just knocked offline, or a network switch or something along those lines. So we are actually going to pop into a status page now, and I can show you what those look like. So we are on the Westminster camp, and as you can see right here at the top, you have your big one that you want to look at is that all systems are operational. So that is what you want to see at all times, but you'll be able to kind of pop in here. This is live. It kind of gives you an overall percentage, whether it's operational or not, and then you can actually hover over each individual day. It kind of lets you know little details here and there, but if you wanted to find a little bit more information, you can click into admin viewing here and let that load, and it kind of dives up a little bit more information. You can kind of check a little bit more data on how everything's running and kind of get a history here. Say it was down for 4 minutes and then came right back up. So you can kind of check all these facts out just at a glance whenever you'd like. All right, pop back here. So coming soon, we're actually going to have individual camera alerts. I know some of you have actually already been experiencing the other alerts we have in place for your admin viewing and your parent streaming there, but we'll get down to the camera level here as well. And that should be rolling out in the next 30 to 45 days. Once we kind of get that email response from you guys on which email addresses you'd like to use for those alerts. And this is something to think about on your side if you want to actually set up a specific email address at camp for alerts, just in case you want everything to kind of be funneled to a certain area and then give a couple people access to it. So that's something to kind of keep mindful of. So as of now, your cameras are not on your status page, and basically this is due to. Are you hearing an echo? Sorry, is the echo better? Is that better? Okay. So the reason you won't be seeing your cameras on your dashboard at the moment is that basically each individual link requires an opening in your firewall or port forwards, and basically that would cause basically result in a failed PCI compliance test for your credit card machines and things like that. So we try to poke as little holes in your firewall as possible. So that's why those aren't on there, and we're just using the 2 at this moment. But you do have the availability to reach out to us at any given time, and we can get you that camera report. You can kind of see an example one right there on the right-hand side to where we can kind of pull a little bit of historical data for you. Okay, so we do have a couple of locations out there that, or a couple of owners out there that have multiple locations. So the reason that you are getting individual status pages as opposed to a grouped one together, there's a couple of different reasons here. First is to actually separate out the alert notifications. Each location had to be separated out a little bit differently there, and it actually narrows down each location to that particular team, so you can give access to that on-site team, and they're only seeing their location's information. And to make it a little easier on that, we've actually added the name of the location in the email alert that you guys get, so it's just at a glance to where you can easily tell which location that's coming from. So next, I actually want to open up our new Camper Camp support website. So everyone should have access to this. It's brand new, revamped. We've actually updated a whole bunch of articles on troubleshooting and things like that. You actually have the ability to schedule a training call if you need if you have new members of the team or anything along those lines, and you can schedule that call here. You can also just do a quick search right here for anything that you're having. It'd help if I could spell. So we look for a status page overview. It brings you right there. You can actually dive in and find out a little bit more about what's going on. So great opportunity, or great tool to utilize here for you and your team on site, just for some quick troubleshooting, especially during off hours and things like that.
The specific links to status page and camera alerts were sent in that release email a short time ago, so that'll get you directly to those articles, but you can back out to the main page and search other items, troubleshooting items, and such.
All right. So we're going to pop over. So this is actually what a sample alert that you may receive will look like. Obviously, the body will be a little bit differently, depend on what the alert is actually used or the alert is for. But it'll have basically that email alert you receive will be kind of a multi-purpose tool. One, obviously, it's a notification of occurrence for your records. It'll have device-specific troubleshooting steps that can be immediately accessed via our CamperCam support site that we just showed you guys. It's also a quick and convenient means to reply to our team, or just to schedule a call for a more convenient time for you to troubleshoot. And it also gives you a readily available link to your status monitor in case you forget to bookmark that on your side. So you'll always have that available for you. And actually coming soon to these emails, you'll actually have the ability to pause or re-enable each monitor as you see fit due to maybe rolling power outages or rolling camera connections. We actually had a Stone Oak camp actually had a camera go kind of have a rolling connection one evening, and actually I do believe that owner received about 20 different emails. So the system is working properly. It's unfortunately it happened overnight, and depending on the frequency of loss, the connection, it just kind of is going to send you that email alert each individual time. It is definitely a rare instance, but it will happen like that. But that's why that pause and re-enable feature will actually be added in there. Just, if you know about something ahead of time, you'll be able to kind of, especially, internet outages and things like that, you'll be able to pause your overall monitoring and then re-enable once that issue is resolved. All right.
So we are out with the old and in with the new. To better alleviate the stress on front desk employees for incoming calls, this new maintenance notice will be displayed on any cameras that are currently under repairs, which should give your front desk employees cover from pet parents that might be calling in to find out the status of a camera. If it was showing no signal before, now it is a nice clean image letting them know that our team's already working on it, and to, of course, check back soon to see if that camera is back up and streaming again for them. This image will be displayed for your pet parents both on the mobile app and website viewing, but it will also be the image displayed on pup dates as well. So it will be a clean image for your front of house displays for both your employees and your parents that come in to drop off their pups. And this image is for camera specific outages. So not for full outages, but once the troubleshooting steps have been completed or cameras have been replaced, if that ended up being the needed step, the live stream will instantly be back up for your parents, and that image will, of course, disappear unless the camera was still down. And this new feature will coincide with the camera alert completion and will be rolling out within the next 30 days or so. Also rolling out soon is a app update for the admin app. And this new app update will not only still have the great features you know and love, like instant recording playback, live feed, and even the ability to clip recordings directly to your phone, you will now have the ability to better monitor the health of your server on site at the camp. This will help you monitor the CPU usage, RAM, and disk space available on your server.
One of the big things to add here is we've seen in a rare instance where a hard drive has filled up and a recording has stopped, or the ability to record has stopped because for some reason, and it really is hardware driven, they're on it via some type of error, that once that hard drive fills up, the recording doesn't occur. This will allow you to specifically monitor, your hard drive space. If it gets to 80-90% usage, that's typically too high. We're setting a max disk space usage at, I believe, at about 80% for all our servers across the U.S. And this way, you'll be able to see that it's maintaining a proper disk space usage and not exceeding the thresholds that we're setting.
Yes, an iOS version is set to be released by the end of April, with Android to follow 30 days from there.
All right, so next is to upgrade at a discount. So anybody that's ready to make any camp upgrades, or maybe add a few things here and there, you can enjoy an additional 10% partner discount on an optional and an optional 6-month interest-free equipment payments for any applicable upgrade package to the end of 2021. So that's anything like adding, snout level cameras, adding a couple of multi-zone audio to where you can actually add some speakers into your prep room, or to any of those extra spaces that you're not able to hear those alerts as well. Adding any additional PupDates TVs, our PupDates split screen where you can actually see your outside yards from your indoor yards, and then our actual new 360 camera. And I'm actually going to utilize our Sherwood camp real quick and actually show you guys what that looks like. It incorporates right into your Blue Iris that you already are using for your cameras. So it actually pulls in this nice quad view to where your 3 right over here in your bottom left, and then your corner over here, that's your 360 ring. And then you actually still have your PTZ controls here to where you can move this camera all around and zoom in and out and check out what's going on in the yards. They look like they're having, we got some activity here. They actually have some bubbles and things like that going on. So there we go. We can zoom in, you can kind of see what's going on and really get a feel for what's going on in your back of house. It's a great management tool because it just gives you a definite different view other than your standard cameras in your yards, to in case that, heaven forbid there's any incidents or anything like that. It kind of lets you get a much better view of what may have really been going on in that yard. All right, so if you want to a demo link to that, let me know. We can kind of get that going, but I do encourage everyone to schedule a consultation call with me, and we can kind of discuss what you're looking for and what your needs are, and just kind of review a couple of available solutions for you guys. And we can easily get over, estimates and kind of give you an idea of what everything would cost for you guys.
So our Q2 focus, our team's already hard at work at. It is going to be on an expanded support experience, and this is really going to be tied to both your pet parent experience and admin experience as well. I can't give too much at this point, but just know we are working already on Q2 rollout of a number of support focused features and enhanced experience options for you guys that will probably host a very similar webinar like this in a few months to kind of recap everything and really deep dive each of those releases. So I think what we're going to do here is Jared is going to, I think, filter some questions for us and present those from a host standpoint, and our team is going to essentially just be on standby for as long as you guys need us to ask any questions related to these release features. Anything camp specific, we can circle up after the call, schedule a call, whatever it might, whatever it may mean.
All right. I'm not seeing any new questions, but I encourage anyone in the audience, whether it's from the corporate support team or owners, to go ahead and type in anything that you'd like more information about or any clarification on. All right, so Diana just asked, how long will the 10% discount be available?
Yep, go ahead, Bob. So I apologize. That is actually going to be good through the end of 2021. So we'll be running that for the rest of the year.
Yes, and that's actually an additional 10% from the existing partner discounts that are in place. And then we're also adding on top of that a 6-month finance plan on the equipment side of things too, for you guys, and that's interest-free. So I'm trying to do our best to help out and keep upgrades moving.
So Dan's asking if you guys could clarify about the port forwards item you discussed. I guess Paul was talking about that earlier. Could you all clarify what you were talking about with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, if we were set up the way we set up the status monitoring or those monitors for each individual camera, we actually have to port forward each individual camera out of your modem. And in essence, to not really open up that many ports in your modem, and then depending on your network, could possibly cause a PCI compliance failure. We're trying to limit that down. We are still able to monitor things on our side in a little bit different fashion, but it's not able to be pulled into the status page at this time. So that is something we are looking into for future, but just at this time. We don't want to open up that many ports in your modem.
Awesome. Thanks for that. I have a more of a basic question. So obviously the camps are getting these notifications, and can you talk about sort of what happens when you all receive one of these notifications, what your process is, whether, and obviously there's going to be different scenarios, but maybe just if you could go through a generic scenario when you see something that's down, what's the process your team will go through to ensure that folks are aware and understand and things are being addressed?
Gotcha. So let's just take, for instance, you receive your email alert. We actually are, let's say, your streaming's down. We're actually going to receive a support ticket on our side as well, especially if we see admin and parent streaming down. That usually means we've lost complete connection to that computer. So it's either restarting or there's an internet loss or power outage or something along those lines. So first and foremost, we're going to try and just call the camp if it's during support hours. Obviously, sometimes if there's power outages and internet outages, you won't have phones. So we'll sometimes check Facebook feeds, different things like that to maybe get a little bit more information. But we are trying to reach out to you as soon as we do get that alert during our normal support hours. And if you're like me, I'm checking it after hours too. So we're always checking it and trying to make sure you guys are up and running at all times.
There's a differentiation between each alert. So there's the streaming, parent streaming, and admin streaming, which are pop-in tickets, and then also the camera individual alerts. And in those camera individual alerts, and in specific to the other ones, each will provide a link to troubleshooting steps for you guys to immediately take on your side. And then also specifically on the camera alerts, there's actually a Calendly link we put in there, which is a direct scheduler to schedule a call with our service team. So, if you want to immediately take some troubleshooting steps on your side and then schedule a call maybe after the morning rush with our team so that we can call over and troubleshoot with you, that's readily available to in that same email.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Dan asked a follow-up question about going back to port forwarding. He says, so you're opening individual ports for individual cameras. What do you mean by PCI compliance failure?
So I was just typing them back. So we are not opening ports for individual cameras, so to avoid any PCI compliance issues. So we're minimizing the open ports in your network, if that makes sense, Dan. And if we need to go deeper on that networking side, happy to schedule a follow-up call with you, and take this deeper, just so you're clear on what is actually going on there.
Excellent. I'm trying to think if do you all have any other? I know you brought up upgrades. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, one that hasn't been brought up, all these add-on features are being rolled out at no cost too, so there's no additional charges. I was kind of waiting to see if that one was going to come up, but these are all included in the Camper Camps program experience. In fact, a couple of these were scheduled for last year, but I think everyone got a little derailed last year, and getting things back on track and leaning back into everything we wanted to do. We got a little pent up demand here for some releases, and we got these out as quickly as we could, and then we're already quickly moving into Q2 support focus features now.